Welcome everyone to our NetApp plugin webinar. The presenter today is Janne Rantanen. He's our main man in Finland. He's a technical sales engineer and well versed in NetApp, and he's been that for a long time. He's going to talk a little, or actually a lot, about our NetApp plugin. So please hold your questions until the end. Take it away, Janne.
Thank you, Markus. So let's start with agenda. So first of all, quick overlook of our product and some brief notes about our technical sales. And then we dive into this NetApp plugin, what it is, why it's there, why we have wanted that, and then checking those highlights, what the plugin can do, and also take in touch to the licensing models. And finally, those questions. So let's go. Yep, that's me. And so I have joined OP5 this year, January. Before that, being a OP5 partner around 8 years. I do hobby as a home automation and computer stuff. So somebody say I'm a geek. I have nothing against that. And for NetApp, I've been working with NetApp devices since 2002. So hopefully you can try to get everything out of my Finglish. So hang on. Okay, here's an overview about our product, OP5 Monitor. It's the world's leading solution-based open source product, and it is unified as the NetApp storage is also unified. It's fully compatible with the Nagios, and you have multiple possibilities to integrate our OP5 Monitor to different software like Grafana or ServiceNow or whatsoever. So it's a working solution for small and medium businesses and also to really high enterprise level solutions. So it's unified, which means that we can get everything out of the single view. So we can have graphs for hardware, operating system, applications, and whatsoever. So in this sense, storage is here in the key part. It's scalable, so we can do the distributed monitoring, and also we can do the load balance monitoring just like that, working out of the box. And as we say, we can monitor basically from everything from basement up to the cloud. Graphical user interface. So no need to go to the command line interface. That's history, what was regarding to Nagios. But now we have a graphical configuration managers and all the other things. So it's really, really fancy to do all the things with your mouse. About technical sales. So about 10% of the skilled OP5 staff are TSEs. So we usually go with the customer and having their meetings and getting that feedback from the customers and going with that to our development, and development takes care of the producing those new features what are requested the most. For short, that's about it. Our renewal rate is about 95%, and according to latest survey, it was 97.92 who would recommend us, and that's something what we are really proud of. Right, let's go and dive a little bit to that NetApp plugin. Plugin itself is made by Quorum. It's the Austrian company. The development has been started already 2007. It's about 10 years ago. And so there are many features listed to that plugin, and some of those which are not, you are not able to find those from, for example, NetApp provided tools. Quorum has a broader portfolio. You can check that link on the page, and there you can find out more about those plugins. And also there's a screenshot for Quorum portal. We are talking about Q portal. So if you have an agreement, so you can go there and download the latest release from there, and that's easy to deliver those things. Or you have an option if you do the agreement with OP5 to have remote work. So we will then take care of the upgrading the latest plugins and implementing the new features for you. Why? And so OP5, as I said, is a unified monitoring solution, and NetApp is a unified storage solution. So those goes together really strongly. So idea is to get for customers that they can have one view where they can see all the OSI layers from bottom to the up. So they can see what's happening in the networking layer, what's happening in the storage layer, what's happening in the server layer, and so on. So basically one-stop shop, you get all those things. And it uses the same API, what's for example, the system manager or the on-command unified manager is using. As I said, so it's commercial, and it comes with the bundles. The bundles will be presented later on this webinar, so hold on. License also will be opened up a little bit more later this day, but for this point, I have to say it's really fancy because it's unlimited. So if you have 100 storage systems, you just buy one license and you can use that for all your devices. And the most important thing, you can use that plugin for 7 mode and also the cluster mode, including metro clusters. So what is NetApp plugin? So yeah, we are having that, we call that Check NetApp Pro. And it's the latest version of this Simon monitoring family made by Quorum, and it's used for these fast storage systems. Also the AFF and other systems which are having an ONTAP as operating system can be used. So you can check those metrics from your storage systems securely, and as it says, so it's using for both 7 mode and C dot. As you know, there are other products like E-Series, SolidFire, AltaVolt, and other things, but as they are running different operating system, this plugin is not suitable for those. Okay, how to do the integration or the installation? Please contact us. So first of all, sales will do the quote for you, and then if you buy the purchase, so the professional services will do the installation. But just pretty simple in the storage point of view, you have to create a user. Usually you are creating a read-only user, and then you are just assigning some roles to that in order to read those API calls. And for the OP5 Monitor part, you just install the plugin, and then you create those configurations. One for the check commands, one for hosts and services, and so on. And because this performance data is stored to OP5, and if you have a Grafana integration made by us, so you can use that performance data also for Grafana to build those even more fancier graphs. There's the storage layout what NetApp have currently, and so every device is okay for plugging point of view. Okay, it uses HTTPS and it's based on the collector architecture. So basically it runs the commands on storage end and then collects the data and save the data to the store files, which remains on a OP5 server or then some other server, which is readable by the OP5 Monitor servers. And then service checks are using those store files, so pretty less I/O in that sense. So no SNMP is used, and yeah, so it comes with the bundles, as mentioned earlier. It has an integrated help function, so basically you can type --help on that command, and it shows you some help. I will show that on the demo part. Also, it has a regular expression support, so you can include, exclude, aggregates. You can do the pattern maps, for example. And I have to say that the support function from Quorum has been okay. So some fixes has been produced with a couple of hours or even some day. Okay, about the bundles. So we are having basically 4 bundles: based, advanced, performance, and metro cluster. And altogether, those are complete. Base bundle is, as it says, so it's a basic checks regarding to hardware and also kind of a snapshots, what's going on your network. And there are about 11 checks for that. Then you have an advanced bundle, which has more checks. There are about 30 checks at the moment. And you have then a performance bundle, which concentrates on those most important key performance indicators to collect the data. And there are about 14 checks of those. So I do recommend the complete bundle, because then you can get all the data which is important, and you collect those, and then you just select what to choose on the graphs. Okay, this architecture, how you can build your plugin. So you have a couple of options. You have OP5 Monitor server, and you do the plugins there, and you collect the information from your OP5 server and store there to this store dir, and then the service checks are using that information. That's for the small environment. Medium environment, where you have filers like 10 or more. So you can put, for example, one Linux box and put the collectors there, and then share your NFS store dir, and the OP5 is doing that as a source for the data. Large end, yeah, you can have another Linux box, and then it uses the collectors, and it can share this NFS directory straight to the OP5 peers, or it can push the data, for example, to NetApp drive, and that can act as a centralized NFS storage. But the recommended one is to use this polar. So you can say that you have a storage polar, and you put all those service checks and all those collectors to one poller, which takes care of that, reading the data and then pushing the values to the master. Okay, one example how we can treat about volume size checks. So on the left side, you can see the traditional volume or flex volume, whatever. But so it's 100 gigs volume. So if you have set the limit for the warning to 80 and critical to the 90, you can get those alerts when it happens. But if you have an auto size defined, so you have a similar 100 gigs volume, but you have said that, okay, it can grow until 150 gigs. So this auto size check can only basically send you information when it has no room to grow. It depends on the settings what you have set. So let's say that it's about 140 gigs full, so and it should grow like 20 more, so it doesn't have any room, so then it sends you the alert. And I really hope that you have set this auto size feature on your NetApp system, because it's really good. You may use the relative values, like doing that, okay, warning is 80%, or then you can use the absolute values. So in case that you have a, let's say, 10 terabyte aggregate and you want to alarm only when it has, let's say, 400 gigs empty space left, so you can do that. Here are some examples from the plugin. When you do test this check from OP5 Monitor, you can see these kind of outputs. Also, these outputs are visible on the graphical user interface. So first example, when you're checking those aggregates, so you can see that when the aggregate is going to get full. I have a pretty idle system in our lab, and the whole system is simulated. So that's what's the reason for the rate. Also, that auto size, what I mentioned, so that works as expected. Then there are this performance volume, so you can check the total ops, latencies, whatever are the most important things. One example of the disk checks. So one disk check can act like that. So if any of your disks having difficulties, so are really highly utilized, it can create an alert, but this is, I think it's the better one to check it that way. So this means that if 40% of your total disks are utilized over 90%, then you get the warning. And if 60% of your disks are highly utilized as 90%, so then you get the critical alert. And last example is from the storage utilization part. It just checks the aggregates and lists those values, what it can find. As a summary, there are some highlights and the best functions what you have. So the same plugin for 7-mode CDOT. This volume auto size, if you have enabled that feature, that's really, really handy. Scrub. So you might have difficulties with scrubbing because it's the background process, and if you have something performance issues there, the scrub might never finish. So this will indicate that. Snap mirrors, you can check what are the lag time of snap mirrors, what are the last transfer duration, and the transfer size. So, for example, if your transfer duration is really quick, so like 1 second or so, that might create an event or alert for you. That's just checking out, because that might cause by some mistake in the configuration or some error. Usage trend, that can be measured with the different values. In this example, 48 hours, based on that. And then these badly performing disks. We have option to do the log monitoring. It can read logs from the system and do some filtering there. So like MGWD, that can be read as well. Then there is a check for deduplications. It can show what is the stale fingerprint percentage and what is the last time of run operation. This is also similar like scrub, so works in the background, and it might be that you have some difficulties with those dedups. One important key metrics is these consistency points. And so if you have lots of back-to-backs, so usually it means that your filer is not doing healthy. So that's good metric for that. Then there are commands like check NetApp any CLI. So you can run the commands like running the version, expecting something out, and so checking out that what is the version of your result filer on that operating system version. And quota check. So if you set a quota for your user or 3, so it gets the limits straight from the quota entry, so you don't need to set up those warning limits and critical limits by yourself. Right, as no software is perfect, there are some pros and cons. So we could get much more detailed information with this plugin compared to SNMP. We can show really details what are in the NetApp system, which you cannot see by using, for example, System Manager. With one single session, we can collect lots of data. That's an I/O thing. We have possibility to show those trends and forecasts. Then we have option to tune those service check outputs. So that can be, we can present the values in megabytes, gigabytes, kilobytes, even the bytes, and other means as well. We have a license, which is unlimited amount for the storage devices. The cons part, currently the plugin is mostly written with the Perl, so the Perl is not optimized in heavy CPU load, and but the development has said that they are rewriting the code by using the Python or even C++. All right, the scheduling queue is also some problem. So if you can enter the cron, so then you have a workaround for that. Here's the details for the licensing model. So first of all, you just contact our sales and announce that, okay, what is your best model? So if you have a, let's say, FAS8060 is your best NetApp storage system, you can see it's the tier 4. And even you have FAS8020s, you have older models, that one license for tier 4 price is then eligible. So no matter what, if you have a 10 or 100 storage systems, the price is just one license, and that's it. Okay, then we are ready for the demo. Just Okay, hopefully you can see that. So straight away I will go there, hosts, and checking that NetApps from saved filter. In our lab we have two systems basically, one 2-node cluster and one single node cluster, and there's a snap mirror between those systems. But let's quickly look for this first one. So the services, what you can see here. If we start with the aggregate state, we have to check that, okay, all the aggregates are basically online, as it says from the right side of that box. You can define other outputs that, okay, if those are initializing or other status, so you can easily configure what you like to have there. Then, for example, if we check that how much the cluster aggregates have been used, so you can see it here. And this plugin is dynamic, so if you create another aggregate or if you delete some aggregate, this reacts to that, so you don't need to tick any box to take something into monitoring or delete something from the monitoring. Then we can check, for example, volume usage. Here. It seems same kind of information for those volumes. You can, for example, exclude volume 0 if you want to that list. And now I will show you that integrated help function. Okay. No, I won't show you that. Something happened on the Markus's laptop. Let's go for this auto size check then. Okay, I know that. Yeah, we have logged in as a demo user, so it doesn't have any so it cannot change those things. So we cannot show you that, but I can show you that later on if it's okay to you. So right here are the snap mirror. I can show you that. Yeah, it doesn't seem some technical difficulties. Snap mirror is executed on this secondary device. So you can see here that, okay, it checks that one snap mirror has been checked and its lag time is under those limits or within the limits, and the transfer duration is also okay. Let's check at the last, let's check this NACVIS and start here. Just looking for the Tampere's map. Well, is the well, you have it. Yeah. So this is how you can visualize the data in the OP5 Monitor. So having these systems represented here, and just by using either service groups or the BSM groups. So you can inform that, okay, how is your network doing and that kind of stuff. So here it says that average latency of that one volume has gone bad, so it's too busy, so you should take a look of that. And snap mirror between those two systems works okay. These are so tiny DACs, easy to deploy to the OP5 monitor system. Okay, back to the demo or the webinar content. Yeah, I think that there are only a couple of slides left. Show you the demo environment, and but we have gone that through. So I'm handing over back to Markus.
Yes, thank you very much, Janne. And if anyone has any questions, we are opening the chat. And I just want to say that we are having an OpenStack Days Nordic event together with our MSP partner and customer City Network in October. So on the 18th, we're going to have OpenStack Academy, and on the 19th is going to be the main event. So if you want to check it out, it's openstackdaysnordic.org. And I think that's all we have on NetApp, folks. So do we have any questions coming in? Anyone wondering anything? Because I'm wondering, do we have to buy the plugin through the partner, or could the customer just come to us to OP5 and say, this is something that I would like?
Yeah, I would recommend that customers would contact the OP5 sales, so they will give you the instructions, so we can then create a quote for you.
Sounds beautiful. So what would that cost?
Well, as I said earlier on, so it depends on your environment. So what is your best model for the NetApps, and that defines the price.
I see that we have a question here. Actually, the attendee chat is empty. So could the customer set this up themselves, or?
Yeah, at least the storage part. So that can be configured by the customers themselves. So we have an instruction set for that. But if you want to be straight, please contact us. So we have professional services who will do the integration.
Sounds beautiful. Well, thank you, Janne. I know that you have a flight to catch. Oh, here's the question. How does this compare with OCAM OCPM? Oh, sorry. You read that. I'm not that techie.
Yeah, so we have basically the similar checks what this, for example, on-command unified manager is doing. And yeah, system manager and the on-command unified manager, as they have evolved recently, quite good. So there are still something, at least for me as an admin, that okay, I'm not busy. I don't see those on those tools. So that's why the development has started 10 years ago. And you always remember that those old tools were commercial as well. Nowadays they come free as a charge if you buy the storage system. But I recommend that you will do the POC if you like, so to have some kind of a comparison for that.
Lovely, and I think there are no more questions. So I just want to say thank you very much, and I hope you had a nice time. And we'll see you next time. Bye.